there, you're welcome to another exciting episode of the She Circle, of course with me, Myz Sheeda. Today, we are going global. Today, we are going international. But before we do that, let's take a quick breather. When we return, I would be introducing my guest to you. Please do stay.
Today on The Next Gen Leader, we share a spotlight on Selina Beb, a bold, visionary fashion designer. At the intersection of style and strength stands the CEO of Selina Beb, an emerging fashion designer who is redefining what it means to dress with purpose. As she steps into the spotlight, her designs speak volumes, celebrating womanhood, power, and unapologetic individuality. Driven by a deep passion for creativity and self-expression, the talented creative designer has quickly become one of the most exciting new voices in fashion. Her journey began with a sketchbook, a sewing machine, and a dream to create clothing that not only turns heads, but also tells a story. Today, that dream is coming to life on runways and in wardrobes across the country. What sets Selina Beb apart isn't just her eyes for bold silhouette or her love for vibrant fabrics. It's her mission. Every piece she creates is rooted in a desire to uplift women, embrace body diversity, and promote confidence from the inside out. Her collections are more than fashion. They are declarations of strength, resilience, and beauty in all forms. From statement dresses that command attention to tailored suits that exude elegance and authority, her designs are made to empower women to walk taller, speak louder, and own every room they enter. Inspired by real women and real stories, she believes fashion should reflect the complexity and richness of womanhood. Keep an eye on Selina Beb, the CEO of Selina Beb. Her thread is only beginning to weave its way into the fabric of fashion history.
It's about me. It's about me. It's about me.
Back from that quick commercial break. Well, if you just tuned in, my guest for today is a multiple award-winning fashion designer. She is in the person of Selina Beb. Thank you and welcome to the She Circle.
Thank you, Rashida. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm great.
How has business been?
Business has been okay. It's been a bit slow lately, but gradually it's picking up. It's a new year, and we're hoping for better things. So we are managing by grace.
And happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Well, let me take you back. Growing up in your family, how was it like growing up in that family? Were you the stubborn child or just a laid back child just going through your normal routine?
Growing up was interesting. It was fun. My dad was a civil servant, and my mom was also a public servant. So we moved around. Mm-hmm. Yes, my dad worked at most of the regional administration offices around the country. So I was born in Accra, but when I was just 2 years old, my dad was transferred to the northern region. So my formative years were in Tamale, in the northern region. So it was exciting, learning different cultures. We were there for I think 6 to 7 years, and then we moved to the Volta region, specifically Ho. My dad was the regional administrative officer of the regional administration of the Volta region. So it was nice moving around the country and learning new cultures and new people and their way of life and all that. As to my, I guess my personality, no, I don't think I was laid back. I'm quite outgoing, I was the outgoing type, especially compared to my siblings, I'm not too out there, I must say, but compared to my siblings, I think I'm the most outgoing one. Yeah, all my siblings are very laid back, so I think I was the, how do I put it? I was one of the people that made everything exciting in the family. When there's a party, I'm the life of the party all over the place. In school, I'll win dancing competitions and all that. So, no, I don't think I was laid back at all. I was very outgoing, very sociable from my formative years.
Would you say being the daughter of the secretary to the former president shaped how you viewed the world?
No, because my dad became secretary to the president, specifically President Myz, much later on in life, when I was grown, when I was like in my early 30s. So yeah, growing up, he was working in the civil service. So it didn't really impact how I was. And my parents were very humble. And if you try to behave like you're stuck up, they'll humble you. They'll put you in your place. So we're brought up to be very humble, to be very respectful. So in terms of viewing the world, I guess it made me a bit more enlightened, because my dad's job didn't just take him around Ghana, but he used to travel abroad a lot as well. So he'll buy us stuff, sometimes they are brands, foreign brands. So I remember when I went to secondary school, there were certain brands that I already knew about that some of my friends didn't know. But I was exposed to those things because my dad traveled around the world, and then he would buy us movies from abroad, movies that you wouldn't get in Ghana. So I watched certain movies that some people probably didn't get the privilege to watch. So it made me see the world out there, even though I'd never traveled. Before I actually traveled for the first time, I knew a lot about Hollywood, about Europe, about England, because of my dad and what I got exposed to thanks to the work that my father did. Yeah, but when he became secretary to president, I didn't think that really impacted me. I mean, I was already grown. I'd already seen the world. I'd lived abroad myself. So yeah.
But at what year, or in what year did you decide to relocate back to Ghana?
Right. So first of all, I moved to England after secondary school. So right after secondary school, I moved to England to study. My father wanted me to be a lawyer, so I pursued a law degree, and that didn't go too well because I didn't want to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be a broadcast journalist. What you're doing right now is what I wanted to do, but my father also had a dream for me to be a lawyer. And my mom as well, they wanted me to be a lawyer. So I agreed to do it because I thought it was prestigious. But studying law is not easy. Law is very difficult. And if you're not interested in it, it will become even more difficult for you. Yeah. So after the degree level, I abandoned it and I wanted to do other things. So I lived and worked in the UK for almost 12 years. And then in 2008, I decided to move back to Ghana. So I moved back to Ghana in 2008 because I felt like my life was stagnant over there. I was just doing odd jobs, working in customer service, doing a bit of finance work here and there. But I wanted to create a career in the media specifically. And I felt coming to Ghana to do that would be easier. Because over there I tried. I used to work for Rainbow Radio. It wasn't official. I was like a guest presenter on my friend's show. And I loved it. But I tried to sort of get into the media over there, but it wasn't easy. So I felt like, let me just come back to Ghana, and I wanted to actually study communications as well. And my dad had already paid for me to do a law degree. And so, I didn't want to now say pay for another degree again. It's like I've wasted his money. So I just said, okay, I'll stay there, hustle, work, save money, and put myself through school again. But living abroad, most people tell you, is hand to mouth. Yeah. It's so difficult to save. So I just felt like my life was stagnant. It wasn't going anywhere. And so that's when I moved back. And then when I moved back, I enrolled at a GBC training school. I got trained there. And then I decided to do a second degree in communications. So I did a top-up degree course at GIJ, and then I majored in broadcast journalism. So I worked on radio, GBC Radio, and then Radio XYZ. I was one of the pioneers of Radio XYZ back in the day. And so as whilst I was working at Radio XYZ, that I started dreaming about getting into the fashion world, and then I started my brand, Selina Beb.
But your first job, coming back to Ghana, working on your first media, you were at GBC. At what point in time did you move to Radio XYZ?
So I was at GBC for 4 years.
Okay.
I wanted to be on TV, first of all. So when I finished my training and they took me to radio, I wasn't too happy because my whole life, my dream was to become the African Oprah Winfrey. So I wanted to be on TV, but because I was on the large size and then I have a big chest as well, I'm well endowed. I was told when I go on TV, I'll distract people. People will be looking at my chest and not listening to what I'm saying. So they took me to radio. I grew to love radio. Okay. I hated it at first because I just wanted to be on TV. I wanted people to see me. But and I wanted to host talk shows. But I started with a music program and then I started hosting talk shows. So it was going quite well. But I was just doing 2 programs in a week. I had a high life program and then a talk show on Sundays. And I felt like underutilized. I felt like there was more I could do. And then with GBC2 at the time, the pay wasn't so great. So when Radio XYZ started, I knew it was a private station. And then, I knew the owner. And I knew that definitely it will be remunerated. So I said, let me go here. It looks like I'll get more exposure, obviously more money. But, it was just a love for media, really. So I moved to Radio XYZ because I felt like there was more I could give. And I was offered better opportunities there as well. That's why I moved from GBC.
But how has that helped you in what you do now? Being a fashion designer, has that really helped you?
As in working in radio?
Yes.
Yes, it's helped me tremendously because when I was on radio, I gained some grounds. I mean, I gained some popularity. Yes, I wasn't like super popular, but I had my small fan base and people that knew me. And so when I started my brand, it made it easy. First of all, I had a lot of friends in the media, so they were ready to give me interviews, give me exposure, give me mentions here and there. And then also, they patronized my product as well. My friends in the media, and also the fan base that had grown as well. They realized I'd moved into fashion, and so they were interested, and they also patronized me. So it helped me a lot. And also, being on radio made me confident. I became confident. I became a better communicator because it's one thing being trained, and then another thing practicing it and doing it well. So being on radio made me practice the communication skills that I acquired at university and my own natural, communication skills that I had. So it made me very confident, and also it's prepared me for when I'm granting interviews like this one, for instance. I'm able to talk well about my brand and sell it to people. There are some designers that they hide. The brand, you don't even know who they are. But for me, I am my brand. And my brand is Selina Beb Designs. I'm Selina Beb Akomensa. So I am Selina Beb. Selina Beb is me. So I'm able to communicate well, and people are able to understand what I'm doing better and want to follow me and patronize my products. They get interested in it because I'm able to sell my brand well. So
the brand Selina Beb, when did that come in the picture?
So it was when I was working at Radio XYZ in 2012 that, again, you remember I left GBC because I didn't feel fulfilled. I felt like there was more I had to offer. So working at Radio XYZ, again, I was doing music shows, talk shows, and I had finished my top-up degree course at the time. So it was like, with radio, you just do an hour or 2 hour show and then you're done for the day. Yeah. So I was like, what can I do? And I've always loved fashion. I've always been fashionable from infancy, and I love accessories in particular because since I was young, I've always been, will I say plus size? On the big side. I mean, when I was young, I wasn't this big, but I've always been on the big side. And so I remember getting fashionable clothes. I didn't get them because of my size. And so I relied on accessories. I loved accessories because even when my clothes are boring, I'll use accessories to jazz it up and make it interesting. Like what I'm wearing right now, I believe my necklace and my bangle and my rings, are making it more interesting.
True.
So yeah,
Very
and you
true.
know, we big people, we like to wear black and dark colors because we think it makes us look smaller. Exactly. So I used to wear a lot of plain black clothes and boring clothes, and so our experiments with accessories, and I loved bags as well. So I've always loved fashion, especially accessories and bags. And when I moved back to Ghana in 2008, I noticed that the African print bags in particular were trendy and
Trendy, yeah.
popular. And I used to buy them and use them. And people would ask, where did you buy this from? This is so beautiful. And so one day I just woke up and I'm like, I'm always using these African print bags and people like them. Maybe I should venture into it, because when I was young, I remember I always dreamed that one day I have my own handbag range made with Italian leather and all that. And then I thought, okay, it can be leather mixed with African prints, and I don't need to sort of wait till I'm so rich before I start doing this. I can start small and build up. So I started saving money, and then I bought my first raw material, found my first worker to do samples for me. I showed it to my sister, my cousins, and a few friends, and they all loved it. They all said, "This is beautiful. You're onto something."
But
So
how,
that,
sorry to cut you, how much did you begin with? Your capital?
if I say, people will say, "Oh, it's cliche, she's lying," but I started with 200 CDs. That's the
Okay.
truth. I started with 200 CDs. I already had a lot of fabrics. My mother was somebody who collected fabrics, especially GTP and Holland wax, Vlisco. So my mom will buy them for herself. She will give my sister a nice sum. So I already had a lot of fabrics. So what I used that 200 CDs for was to buy leather, and I wanted to do pure leather. I didn't want to start with any fake leather. Yeah. So I remember I went to Accra looking for leather because they have these boys in Accra that import the leather from Italy. So I used that 200 CDs to buy my first set of leather. I already had fabrics. I found my first worker, and then I bought the little things like zips and then the hardware that I needed to make the bags. So honestly, it was just 200 CDs to start with.
Bringing your designs to life, are you the one behind them? I know you design most of your products, but are you the one that also stitch them together just to bring it out to the market?
I'm the one behind the brand, yes, and I'm the designer. But I have a team
Okay.
that I work with. So yeah, I design them, I cut patterns sometimes, and then I have a team that puts it together.
But what inspires you? What motivates you to put a particular design together?
It's really the everyday woman and man. I do now I do clothes as well. It's not just accessories. I started with just bags and then I added the jewelry, and now I do clothes as well. So it's the everyday man and woman who inspire me to do my designs. I have my client base, and normally they will tell me what they want. Or when I see this particular design is popular, then I do more of it. Then I decide to do another variant of it because I know people like it. Like right now, I'm known especially for my bags that add beads to it, especially the traditional beads, and people love them. So yeah, it's my clients that inspire my designs. When I see what they like, it inspires me to do designs that they would like. And then also the prints that I use, the African prints and the beads. Sometimes I see the prints and I'm like, this print will be nice for a bag like this, or will be nice for an outfit like this. So the raw materials that I use also inspire me. And sometimes too, I just go on social media and see what is trendy, and then I get ideas from that.
What makes your brand unique from the others? I know there are so many fashion designers nowadays, but what makes yours unique from the others?
It's my quality. I stand for good quality. I'm very big on that. Luckily for me, I have the privilege of living abroad and working for some brands in England. And so I see the kind of quality that they have. And when I lived in England as well, there were times when I would do two jobs at the same time. So I'll be able to save up and go and buy myself a genuine, real, authentic, maybe Gucci bag, Jimmy Choo bag, Louis Vuitton bag. So I had a privilege of buying these luxurious, expensive bags. I knew how the finishing were, or I know how the finishing is. And so that really was a guideline for me. I know that when I buy a Gucci bag, I'll get a dust bag. It will come in a box. So I was one of the first people that started selling bags, and I'll put them in a dust bag for people. And I use African print fabrics to do the dust bags, and some customers love it. Sometimes when I travel abroad to do shows, people want to buy the dust bag just because it's African, it's kente print. Yeah, they like the kente print. I use specifically kente prints only for my dust bags. So working with UK brands and living abroad exposed me to those kind of quality things. And so it's the quality. When people come to me, they see the quality of my products. And also when I started my brand, I was encouraged by my father and my mentor to go and learn my trade. So I did a course in bag making in Italy in 2015. And so I tell people my bags are made in Ghana, but they have Italian quality because I'm Italian trained. So doing that course also showed me how you can have better finishing and improve the quality of your product. So I believe it's the quality of my products and the unique designs I have that make me stand out.
Your target, let's talk about your target audience. What are you looking at? Which people do you want to target, or are you targeting?
So I target young adults to older people. My target is people with some good disposable income. They're upwardly mobile. So I always say my things are not low end and they are not high end. They're middle end. I'm in between. I try to make things that are affordable, so everybody can afford to buy it. So I'm in there. I'm middle end to high end, I would say. Yes. So my targets are people, mostly people that are into corporate buy my stuff. Corporate people buy my stuff a lot. Yes. I have a lot of bankers and office workers. But then again, I have some students. I have people, ladies that are retired that enjoy my beaded bags and they'll come to me. So it's pretty much adults, from 20 up to 80.
And pricing them, what goes into it?
So pricing them, the cost of production, cost of raw material, the cost of my shop rent. I'm in Osu. You've seen my shop.
Yep,
It doesn't come cheap. So all those, my overheads, all those, I factor all those into the pricing of my products. But they're very much affordable, I believe, for the kind of quality you're getting.
But your brand has been able to survive all these years. What is that one unique thing you think you are doing, or maybe something you feel is a technique for you that has been able to sustain your brand all these years?
I believe it's my consistency. I've been consistent. Next month, I will clock 13 years in this fashion industry. So I've been consistent. It's not been easy. There have been lots of challenges. There have been times where I feel like giving up. There have been times where I've cried and then I'll call my sister and say, I can't do this anymore. Sometimes I'll tell my driver, that's it. I'm frustrated. My workers are frustrating. I'm not doing this anymore. But I entertain those thoughts for just 5 minutes and then I get over it and I just carry on. Because the challenges are there. We keep finding ways and means to summon them. But I'm so passionate about what I do and I love what I do. And when I get compliments from my customers, when I see my customers love what I'm doing, that keeps me going. Yes, so it's my passion for the job, consistency with what I do, and the love for what I do. That's what keeps me going.
But how have you been able to overcome your challenges and maybe criticisms that you face from people, if you have actually gotten some from people?
Oh, of course, you definitely get criticism. Not everybody will love what you do. And 12 years into the business, I've come to learn that not everybody is your customer and not everybody will love what you do. There are some people, you can have the same quality as those big international brands and they'll still criticize what you do. So I realized that there are people who are for me and there are some that may not appreciate what I do. So I just leave them. And so when I get people who appreciate my job, what I do, my products, my iconic pieces, I'm very grateful. If I find somebody who doesn't like them, that's okay. Before it will worry me because I want to please everybody. But no, I've matured in the business and I've realized that not everybody's your customer and not everybody's going to love what you do. So when the challenges come or the criticism comes, let me say the criticisms, I take the constructive ones, the ones that I feel like you don't have a point. You just criticize it for criticizing's sake. I'll just say thank you very much and then I ignore it. But if I see you have a point, I'll say thank you and then I'll assess myself and what I do, and then I'll apply. I'll listen to what you're doing. With the challenges, I always find ways and means to overcome them because there are challenges everywhere and in everything you do.
Let's talk about achievements, international platforms. The one that stands out most for me is the Beyonce parade, Black Parade. Sorry. What achievements have you been able to? What have you been able to achieve for yourself? And if you can list probably a few international platforms you have been on, Break it down for us.
Yes, by the grace of God, I have gained global and international recognition. Yes, one is the Beyonce Black Parade Directory. So in 2019, in the wake of the Black Lives Matter, Beyonce decided to do a Black Parade Directory where she listed Black-owned businesses that people should patronize, because we realized that we need to patronize our own and appreciate what Black people are doing. And so with Africa in particular, when it came to Africa, she listed Black-owned companies in America. So in Africa, she did. I remember that initially it was just 8 people on the list, and there were just about 2 or 3 of us from Ghana, and we were all fashion brands. And Selina Beb was one of those 8 businesses that Beyonce listed on her Black Parade Directory, which was on her website. I have been recognized by Meta, owners of Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, in 2022 during their AU Day campaign called Made by Africa, Loved by the World. I was the first Ghanaian, should I say, company or business that they did a documentary for AU Day. Yes, that was a very proud moment for me, because to be recognized by Meta. And, when I started my business, I didn't have a shop. I was working for my car boots. I know I'm talking now, and you've already mentioned from the very beginning that my dad is the former secretary to president. So people would think I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth and I had everything easy. But no, when I started my brand, it wasn't easy, because my parents wanted me to be a lawyer. They're taking me abroad. I didn't do it. Came back working in the media. Then I said I was going to fashion. So initially the support wasn't there. It was when the company took off and I started doing well that I started getting support from my parents in particular. My sister and my siblings were supporting from the very beginning, but with my parents, they thought I was confused. So I didn't have a shop initially. I couldn't afford one. And so I was using social media a lot, Facebook. And Facebook recognized me for that. And so they did a documentary about my brand. So that was another proud moment. And then also I won 2 international awards in Italy in 2017, at the Global Women Inventors and Innovators Network Awards in Italy. And then also I was recognized by the US Embassy as well. And I represented Ghana at the African Women Entrepreneurship Program in America. It was fully sponsored by the US government, Department of State. And I got to stay in America for a month on a business tour, went to 4 different states and cities. So that's another very proud moment for me. There's so many, but I think these are the ones that come to mind. Oh, and I must mention, I was also recognized by the BBC in 2014 when I went for my very first international exhibition in London. The BBC interviewed me on Focus on Africa. I've been on CNN in 2023. I went for an exhibition in Egypt, and I was interviewed by a CNN correspondent. I've been on Voice of America. So there have been great moments.
A lot. The project Awariso, what is it about?
Right, I can see you've done your research. I'm impressed. So I decided to come up with a collection called Awariso because I noticed that most of our traditional brides are not making use of our traditional beads. A lot of them wear the heavily beaded kente gowns and they don't wear any beads. Most of them will just wear a foreign earring, and that's it. You don't see any beads or carry, African earrings like what I'm wearing. And so it's all about the gown. And it's actually the men that when they wear the kente cloth, then you see them wearing the beads or the brass jewelry. So I felt like I need to do a campaign, do something to promote that, because if you look at the Nigerian brides, they wear their beads. And their beads are even one way, the coral beads. And they wear a lot of these coral beads, mix some into headgear. But our Ghanaian brides are not doing that. It's all about the beaded kente gowns. So I just wanted to show them that you can wear these lovely beaded kente gowns and still wear our beaded jewelry and look good. You won't look too much because it's your day. Nothing is too much. You can be OTT on that very day because that's your traditional marriage. So I decided to collaborate with Kofi Akwetia. We do clothes as well, but most of our clothes are ready to wear. And I know my friend and brother Kofi does these amazing beaded kente gowns. So I collaborated with him to do the gowns, and then I did the jewelry to accessorize for the muses or the brides that we used. And we worked with some of the friends of the brand. They are celebrities, and I call them friends of the brand. They are people that Kofi and I have worked for, and because we know they have big platforms, they can help us to promote this campaign. So that what we saw is a campaign to let our, a campaign to let our traditional Ghanaian brides wear our beads because they're part of our culture and they're part of our traditional marriages. So we used Jocelyn Dumas, Nikki Samones, Caroline Sampson, Sally Gali, and Salma Mumin. So we used those 5 as our traditional brides, and we decided to sort of try and represent our different tribes. We couldn't do all the tribes, but we tried to capture as many as we could. So Jocelyn was the Ashanti bride. That was a very popular one. And then Nikki Samones was the Akan bride. Then Caroline was the Gadangbe bride. We had Salma, who was the Northern bride. And then Seligali was the Ewe bride.
Oh, okay. Nice. Where do you see your brand in the next 5 years? Where do you want Selina Beb's designs to be in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I want Selina Beb to be even more globally recognized. I pray that we'll be able to penetrate and venture into markets that we haven't done so yet. We've gotten some recognition in Europe, in America, but I feel like in Africa, back home, we haven't made those strides or inroads that I want us to make. So in the next 5 years, I want to concentrate on the African market and then go into Nigeria in particular because it's a big market, South Africa, Kenya. I mean, we have some presence there and we make sales there, but it's on a small scale. So I'd want to be able to have proper stockists or even shops in these countries, all over Africa, in Northern Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa. I'd want us to, go more global, especially Africa.
I want to put you on the spot.
Okay.
What jewelry can't you step out without?
Oh my God, I love accessories, all of them. But I think the very one that I'll feel absolutely naked if I go out and I'm not wearing one. And so because of that, I always have a spare one in my car and in my bag are earrings. Okay. Yeah, I love all my jewelry, but earrings in particular, if I go out and I'm not wearing earrings, I'll go crazy. And so I always have a spare one or a few spare ones in my handbag. And I always have one in my car letterbox. Yeah.
Aside yourself, give me 2 fashion designers you think are doing incredibly well internationally and locally.
So the first one is Christy Brown. Okay. Yes. Yeah. I know the designer personally and I've patronized their products. I started wearing their clothes when I first moved to Ghana from the beginning. And so it's a brand I love and I really love her designs and what she's done with the brand. The second one is Diabasewa. Again, I used to wear her clothes when I first came to Ghana. I still have a few, but because now I do my own clothes, I try to wear my own clothes and promote my own designs. But I admire their clothes, and if I see something that I like, I don't mind. Even though I make clothes myself now, I'll still buy them. So Diabasewa as well, she's also made really good and lovely designs and great achievements for her brand. So those are 2 people I admire. And when I started, to be honest, there were 2 people that inspired me because I used to buy clothes from them and make clothes from them and they were, I saw 2 young ladies doing really well, university educated, and there were 2 people that showed me that it doesn't matter your level of education. You can do fashion and exceed. Because when we're growing up, it was like school dropouts are the ones that become seamstresses and dressmakers, and we didn't even know about designers back then, But I came and I saw these young people university educated and were doing the fashion business and doing it really well. So there are 2 people I admire a lot.
Okay, so we are wrapping up with our conversation and I would want you to look at your camera, advise for any young person out there, what you would want to share with that person and what you would like to tell them.
Okay. Hello everybody. So I am Selina Beb Akumensa and I'm the founder and creative director for Selina Beb. And to you, young person watching me, you can attain your dreams. You can make it happen. So what I'll tell you is, look into yourself and find your passion. Find what you love and make money out of it. Make sure that love or the passion that you have is something that you can actually make a career out of. And then go for gold. Work towards it. Train if you can. Invest money. And then also save money and start a business. Start small and build up. I started with just 200 CDs, working and selling from the back, not working, but selling from the back of my boots, and I started with just 1 worker, and over the years, I've built up to where I am. So please be encouraged, work towards what you want to achieve, and you can make it happen. Thank you.
Lastly, do you feel that the African-made products would ever be able to match up to international standards?
Of course they will. Of course they will, and of course they are. We are getting there. We're working and we're getting there. I believe Selina Beb, having been recognized by no less than of a person than Beyonce, means that I'm doing something pretty good. Our finishing is way better. The way we market our products and package them are so much better. So we are definitely rubbing shoulders with the international brands. I mean, I've done fashion shows in England and in America, so we are getting there. And the two brands I mentioned earlier, Christy Brown and Duabasewa, they are also out there. Brands, Christy Brown has also done stuff for Beyonce, and so we're definitely getting there. Yes, there's still room for improvement, but
we are getting there.
We're getting there.
If someone wants to purchase your products, where do they find you?
Right, so we are located in Osu, just behind Photo Club. First left turn after Photo Club, third building on your left. You can find us there, and we're on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and X. It's at Selina Beb.
Thank you very much for doing this with us. I'm really honored. Well, if you just tuned in, you missed a lot. I just had a one-on-one conversation with the creative director for Selina Beb Designs. From a broadcaster to a lawyer, now she owns a multiple award-winning fashion design. This is the She Circle, and my name is Myz Sheeda. Bye for now.